y'all, welcome back to Nini's Texas Kitchen. Today we're going to make homemade king ranch chicken casserole. So the ingredients that you're going to need for this are, first you need just a tablespoon of oil. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into my Instant Pot. Just a little. That's for sauteing your vegetables and your chicken. Then I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on so my oil will get hot. And I want it on sear. Okay, then you're gonna need one whole small onion and one small bell pepper chopped up to saute. So you can put that in. Then you're gonna need chicken. And what I've got here is about 1.5 cups of cubed chicken. This is chicken breast, and I cut it up myself because I like using fresh. I don't like using the canned chicken or whatever, so I always use fresh. So that's what this is, 1.5 cups of freshly cubed fresh chicken that I'm gonna put in with these, and I'm gonna saute all those together. Now, you need to add just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then once that starts sauteing, then we come back and we're gonna add a teaspoon of chili powder, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. We'll add a can of cream of mushroom soup, a can of cream of chicken soup, and then we'll add, it calls for like a can of the Rotel tomatoes and pepper, chilies, but I don't have any of that, so I'm gonna use my homemade salsa that I have a video on that you guys can go watch later. So I'm gonna use that instead of the canned Rotel. So I'll probably end up using about 2/3 of this jar of homemade salsa. And it's got the tomatoes, onions, jalapenos in it too. And so once we get that all sauteed and mixed together, then I'll show you how to arrange your casserole with your corn tortillas, of which I'm using 10. You can use as many or as few as you like, just depends on how much you want corn tortillas in there. And then you layer it with cheese. And the recipe calls for shredded cheddar, but I'm gonna use a combination of shredded cheddar and shredded Monterey Jack because I really like Monterey Jack cheese. So, our Instant Pot has heated up and it's all starting to cook. So your chicken will start turning white. If you're using chicken breast like I'm using, when it's cooked all the way through, then it's done, and then you can add all your other ingredients. And when you add your other ingredients, you're just gonna let it get heated through and kind of bubbly before you layer it into your casserole for your king ranch chicken. So we're gonna let this saute for a few minutes. You wanna let them see it, and then we'll show them what it looks like when it's done sauteing. And then we'll come back and show them what the rest of it is. All right, so it's just starting to saute. And when it gets done, we'll come back. Okay, y'all, we're back. And our chicken and peppers and onions have all sauteed and got nice and done. It doesn't take long when you use chicken breast, maybe 5 or 6 minutes max for them to get cooked through. Especially for the boneless, I always like to use the boneless. So now I can add my other ingredients. So I'm gonna add my can of cream of chicken. And this recipe is awesome. If you wanna make a light version, you can use the fat-free cream of chicken and the fat-free cream of mushroom. I've done that before and it tastes just as good as the regular. So I recommend you give that a try if you want the lighter version of this. And you can use the low-fat or fat-free cheese to layer it with, and it's really good that way too. And if you want to do it vegetarian or vegan, you can substitute all kinds of stuff. Your tofu for the chicken, you can substitute different, like 2 cans of cream of mushroom instead of a cream of chicken and cream of mushroom. So however you like to eat it, you can adjust this recipe to fit your particular dietary likes and needs. So I've added this. Now I'm gonna add about 2/3 of my jar here, which would be one can of the Rotel. If you get the big can, it's like 10 to 14 ounces. So I'm gonna add about 2/3 of this to it. Like so. Just mix that all up. It's nice and hot, pretty bubbly, gonna be good. Now I can add my garlic powder, and remember it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. You don't want to get too much because it'll overwhelm the flavors. It's just enough to add a little bit of garlic flavor to it. And then you want to add a teaspoon of chili powder, and this will give it a little bit of spice, okay? But not too much. If you want more spice, add more chili powder. And so now I have my mixture all mixed together, and this is what it's going to look like when you get it all mixed together. Okay, so the next step is I can turn this off, and I'm going to layer everything. So I already have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. I have a 9x13 that I'm going to layer my tortillas and mixture and cheese in. So I always prepare my pans when I make a casserole. I just spray it with nonstick spray because it just makes it easier to clean up when you get done. So I've already done that. So now what you need to do is take your tortillas and you want to tear them into pieces and layer them in the bottom. Like so. And it's real simple. And this way you don't have to use quite as many either. And it's easier to cut into whenever you've cut up or tore up your tortillas than if you try to put whole ones in. All right? Just makes it easier when you go to serve it if they're in pieces. We're gonna end up with 2 layers of tortillas with the mixture of our chicken. And just kind of cover the bottom real good everywhere. You want it layered in there really good. Like so. All right, so now I have a pretty good layer of the tortillas. So now let me get my pot holder. This is gonna be hot. Take my little inner bowl out, and then I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna pour some over the top of my tortillas like so. About half of it. And then you save the other half for the next layer. Take your spoon and just spread it evenly over your tortillas. Like this. Then cheese. Well, if I can get it open. This cheese that I'm using here is a low-fat cheddar. So just sprinkle a nice even layer over it like this. If you like a lot of cheese, you can put a lot. If you like just a little bit for a little flavor, a little chewiness, just put a little bit. I put a medium amount, okay? Now, the next layer is some more tortillas that I'm gonna tear. Like so. And I'm gonna put all my tortillas and tear them like that in here. Same as I did on the bottom layer. And these are corn tortillas, not flour. I've never made it with flour. I think it might be a little too chewy that way. Corn tortillas also give it a good flavor. And we just do that. We got one more. And this is an easy casserole to make, and everybody will love it. If they love like kind of a Tex-Mex chicken dish, like I said though, you can substitute. So that is perfectly fine to substitute. And then I'll pour my last half of my mixture over the top. Like so. Put all the good stuff over there. A little bit still wanted to stay behind. Okay. Now spread it out, covering all your tortillas. Like so. And then more cheese. So this time I'm going to put a little bit of cheddar over the top, and then I'm going to cover it with Monterey Jack. Because I like Monterey Jack. A good side item that you can use with this is like a side salad, or you could do some chips and salsa, you know, some guacamole if you like it, and some chips. Alright, now you can put it in the oven just like this. You don't need to cover it because your chicken is already cooked. So, oven's ready at 350 degrees. I'm gonna stick it in here for about 25 to 30 minutes until my cheese is all melted and it's bubbly up on the sides, okay? All right, so we'll be back when it's ready to come out. Okay, y'all, we're back. It's done. As you can see, came out of the oven. Look how nice and melty the cheese is and everything. It took like 25 minutes. I left it in the oven, and then I let it sit here and cool for about 10 minutes just so it wouldn't be too hot when we go to eat it. And it's really good, so we're gonna give it a try. Here we go. Perfect. If y'all like my video, I'm making King Ranch chicken casserole. Please like it, share it to others, and subscribe to my channel. Also, go back and watch my other videos. You won't regret it. And if you haven't, get vaccinated. We'll see y'all next time in Nini's Texas Kitchen.